no cell phone use in the council chambers. Please rise for invocation by Mayor Pro Tem Susan McVeigh.
Thank you, Mayor. Please bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. We ask for your grace as we gather together to make decisions that are for our city. We want to also remember during this Thanksgiving season so many that we have lost in our community that have done so much in the past for our citizens, for our Poplar Bluff, and be with those families as they go through the seasons without their loved ones. We ask you to put your grace upon us and help us to work together looking for positive things, and we have so much to be grateful for with the growth of our city. Please, with our military, with our local government, city, and federal government, we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Kirby.
Councilman Branham.
Here.
You did. Councilman Smith.
Yes, here.
Councilwoman Abshir.
Here.
Councilman Matthews. Councilwoman Pearson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem McVeigh.
Here.
And Mayor DeGaris.
Here.
We have 6 present.
Thank you. Disclosure of interest. Any member of the City Council may disclose any possible conflict of interest dealing with either any item on the printed agenda or with any matter discussed at a previous meeting. Seeing none. Citizens input. Each person in the audience may take this opportunity to address the City Council on any matter which is not on the printed agenda.
I got one.
Yes, sir. If you'd step up to the podium, need your name and address, please.
Yes, sir. My name is David Davis. I live at 825 Hart Street in Poplar Bluff here. One incident I have, it's been at least 2 months. I've announced it to Officer House about 823 Hart Street about the garbage. It's in the back of the resident. I also signed a complaint with him at least a couple of months ago, and I talked with him about it. He said something about the resident had missed court, and as far as I know, when you miss court, you're supposed to have a warrant for your arrest. And then he mentioned about that he's supposed to go back to court. Well, the trash still remains in the backyard, and I've got photos as of tonight that it's still there. So if anybody would like to see the photo.
Sure, you can bring them up to me.
Okay. Okay, is it right here? There's the trash can right there.
Yes, sir.
We'll back it up just a little bit. You can see there's a refrigerator back here. Can you see that plainly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's still there, is it right now? And that trash can has been sitting there for at least a couple months, and Officer House has seen that. So, it's ready to bring it to the city council tonight about it. And what are we gonna do about it?
Well, he's taken action by giving a summons, and if usually in municipal court, if someone misses their first appearance, the judge will automatically give them another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they don't appear on that second one, then he'll usually issue a warrant.
Okay, but then.
But they still, try to go back again and contact them to get them to clean it up in between court appearances.
Mhm. But I mean, if we can get the ditch that's in behind the residence cleaned up, within the street department, we should be able to get this cleaned up.
It's on city right away that the ditch is,
I understand.
and we can do that. We have to give them a right to cure. They get a notice first, there's a right to cure. If they don't get it cured, then they wind up getting a summons, and they have to go to court, explain to the judge. Normally what will happen is they'll do a little bit of work in between the time we take pictures and the time it goes to court, and the judge will give them a little more time because they're making progress. And so it sometimes is a very lengthy process, Mr. Davis. But I will check with Mr. House and see where we're at on that exactly.
Well, I mean, it's pretty bad when it gets you roaches.
I don't disagree at all.
Because, I've cleaned up my resident. I've been there for a good 10 years. I have made a lot of this, as you say, my resident has been trashy, but I've cleaned it up. And so at least 10 years worth of it. And as of right now, there's new siding put on the house. So therefore, if I can do mine, and I'm on total disability, I expect somebody else to do the same.
I'll check with Mr. House tomorrow.
Okay, that's all input I got.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you.
Matt Winters with the Ozark Foothills Regional Planning Commission. Address is 3019 Fair Street. I was contacted on Saturday by the United Gospel Rescue Mission at the Planning Commission, asked if we could prepare a grant application for them. They're going to be applying to the Missouri Housing Development Commission through their Emergency Solutions Grant Program to request $50,000 to help towards paying rent and utilities and deposits and things like that that they normally do. As part of the application process, they need a letter of support signed by the mayor from the city council. And unfortunately, with the late notice, I didn't have time to get it to Ms. Kirby quick enough to get it in your packet and on the formal agenda. And so I'm asking if maybe that might be something that the council would be willing to approve for Mayor DeGarris to sign the letter. Ms. Kirby was kind enough to distribute a copy to everybody tonight that you have in front of you.
I would make a motion that we support the mayor signing the letter.
Motion second to support it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nothing else. Next item is consent agenda. Any member of the council wish to discuss any item separately on the consent agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion and second to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to workshop items. Item A, the City Council review an engagement letter for auditing services to the City of Poplar, Municipal Utilities, and City Cable for fiscal year 2013.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, you have a copy of the letter in your packets. This engagement letter, we start inventory next month. Usually, we actually have this come before council usually in October or so, because actually they start gathering information on our upcoming audit for the end of this year at that point. But it is in here. I would call to your attention that since 2010, it has been a $57,000 charge for these services, not to exceed. And this year it has went to $59,000. Represents about a 1.1% increase per year over the 3-year period, but essentially it is an increase I wanted to bring to the council's attention. Steve Austin with Calf, Miles and Tatum is here tonight. If he has any questions.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. Did we do any bidding out of the auditing services for this?
Professional services, sometimes we don't bid. I think this was bid in 2003. Prior to that, 17 years earlier, it was bid. In 2003, we had one bidder, it was Kraft, Miles and Tatum. And as I said, this hasn't increased since 2009.
Okay.
And this is the first increase since then, which is why I'm calling to the council's attention. Normally, I will negotiate those and make sure that it is a fair price, and then it's at the council's pleasure at that point.
Have you checked with any other facilities to see if this is a fair price?
I had the finance director contact BKD out of Springfield that specializes in this kind of service. We actually sent them a copy of our audit last week, and they gave us a figure of somewhere between 65 on the low end and 85 on the high end for those services.
You do have the ability to bid out, though, if you wanted to, right?
We have the ability to select based on qualifications and then negotiate a price. Yes.
I would make a motion that we accept the bid as presented and vote on it tonight.
Second.
Motion second to accept. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, the City Council will review a recommendation from the Municipal Utilities Advisory Board regarding a lease agreement between the City of Poplar Bluff and the Butler County Emergency Management Agency.
This is an item that Mr. Bach is entertaining. A gentleman is going to talk to us in closed session tonight. This is just a lease agreement to construct a building on some property that we own on White Oak Drive. There's about a 8 by 12 concrete structure there, and Emergency Management wants to build a building on it to house some of their radio equipment in order to, I think it'll set off sirens, it'll do the whole works. It'd be a joint use if the utility needed it, they could use it also.
Can I say a word?
Sure.
Is it okay?
I'm-
I just want to take this opportunity, if it's the pleasure of the council to approve this and we can move forward. I just want to say how much I appreciate the city working with the county on this. It's going to make a fundamental difference in our ability to set off our sirens and to broadcast in an emergency with the EMA repeater. Where we are right now, we're sitting 60 feet in the air. This is going to put us 200 feet in the air. Right now, we're in danger of interruption from someone else using another frequency that's close to ours in the location that we are. So this will be a real safety feature in terms of us having a good, clear signal when we really need it the most. The worst thing we could imagine is hitting the siren button and then somebody keying their mic and squelching our siren notification. So I appreciate the city working with us. It's a nice little partnership. We can do that. And I really appreciate Municipal Utilities General Manager Bob working with us in understanding, and then the Municipal Utilities Advisory Board for considering this. So, and I'm available if you have any more questions about it. I won't take any more time. Thanks.
And the Utility Advisory Board recommended unanimously to approve it.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we move the workshop item B to the voting session to be held on December the 2nd.
Second.
Motion second to move the item to the voting session on December 2nd. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, the City Council review a grant application through the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant Fiscal Year 2013 program to seek funding for protective equipment.
And this is a grant that the fire department, actually, it's 4 grants that you're going to see in the next 3 items after this that the fire department has. I don't want to say stumble onto. This first one is for air packs and face pieces, a total of $190,430. There's a $500 grant writing fee. After the first one, you can see Mitzi Dell is the grant writer and project administrator on these, and you can see her resume and the grants she's written are following this particular one, but she's writing all 4 of these for the fire department. She's did $22,456,000 worth of grants, and feels like we have an excellent chance of hitting on at least some of these. As I said, it's $500 for the grant writing fee. $2,000 is the max the city would be out if we didn't hit on any of them. If we hit on all of them, those fees are covered in the grant itself.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we move the item C to the voting session tonight.
Second.
Motion second to move it to tonight. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, the City Council review a grant application through the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant Fiscal Year 2013 program to seek funding for a Rosenbauer 101 pumper.
Same scenario. This is a $340,000 pumper. As I'll explain to you all at budget time, the average age in January of 2014 of our firefighting fleet is 26 years old. The backups we have, our newest one is 36 years old, the other 2 are 41 years old. So you can see from these costs, this is a used pumper. Well, 2014, it may not be, but the pumpers normally go somewhere between $350,000 and $500,000. The ladder trucks between $500,000 and $750,000 in our budget, even our capital budget won't sustain those kind of costs. So he is hoping that we have a good chance at hitting on at least one of these. If he had one to pick, I would think it would be this one or the next one, which the next one is a ladder truck.
I think it's a no-lose situation, and our fire department is somewhat antiquated at this time, and we're taking on a lot more to area that we need to support. So I make a motion we move this to the voting session tonight.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, the City Council review a grant application through the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant Fiscal Year 2013 program to seek funding for a Viper aerial vehicle with a 78-foot ladder.
$550,000 vehicle. Again, that is a very good price on those, even though it's very expensive. If we don't hit on these two, I can tell you that there will be upgraded used equipment in our 2014 budget, because we simply have to do, as Councilman Brandon pointed out, keep those, especially the backup trucks, in good working order. The frontline trucks average 15 years of age, not quite as bad. And when you look at the fire truck, it looks brand new because those guys really take good care of it. But a 46-year-old truck, sometimes you can't even get parts for if it goes down. So,
How soon will we find out the results if we are awarded this grant?
I am not sure when the deadline is or when when they will be announcing. I suspect did it say?
They're due by December 6th.
Okay, so probably January or February before we'll know.
Okay. Again, I would move item E to the voting session to be held tonight.
Second.
Motion second for item E, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, the City Council review a grant application through the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant Fiscal Year 2013 program to seek funding for generators and assorted vehicle hand tools.
Total of around 45,000, a little over 44,000 in generators and hand tools, and this will probably be the grant we hit on. But anything we can get would certainly be appreciated.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we move item F to the voting session tonight, and I want to thank the fire chief. He's not here tonight, but looks like he's done well that we hit on just one grant. We've saved the general fund and capital account a large sum of money that we're going to have to spend at some point in time, no matter what.
Good point.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, the City Council review Exhibit B, Addendum 1 to Ordinance Number 7397 regarding the agreement between the City of Poplar Bluff and Smith & Company Engineers for the Shelby Road Phase 2 project.
Billy, you want to go through this?
Billy Cobb with Smith & Company at 901 Vine Street, Poplar Bluff. Basically, these items, G, H, and I, all kind of go together. Basically, starting in March, after we got the go-ahead on the Shelby design, the original part of the design, we were looking for ways to basically improve or figure out other funding avenues as far as the city of Poplar Bluff, and to free up some more TDD dollars if we can. And then now in hindsight, since we're short on that project, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But what we were able to do is we put together application to the Missouri Department of Transportation for a cost share agreement, and working with Dave Wyman, and Elquin is here too with MoDOT. With that, normally a cost share, I mean, you can set them up different ways, but normally a cost share 50% is paid by MoDOT and another 50% by the city. But then the city, on top of that, has access to STP urban funds, and so what we proposed to MoDOT when we prepared this grant application is to offset the other 50% with STP urban funds. So in essence, this project for the Highway PP Shelby Road is 100% basically paid by MoDOT. It's if you read each agreement, there's $333,000 in the cost share agreement, and then there's up to $382,000 in the SDP funds. And as part of that, then to administer and prepare the plans for MoDOT to inspect the project, and that's where our addendum comes to, our Shelby Road contract. And so that's the short version. I mean, I go into more detail if you want on if there's specific questions, but that's the gist of the
The STP funds that Billy is referring to are funds that are funneled from the federal government through the state and put into account for municipalities. We have to use some of those funds now or they're going to
Yeah,
lapse.
that's one thing
in the
Elkland
near
actually
future.
reminded me, and she's here for questions too when we get to those two agreements, if you have specific questions on the agreements. But by September of 2014, if we don't use some of this urban fund, it goes away,
Yeah.
basically. And so that's where it's really time of the essence, because it's going to take a little while to get all those plans developed, get them into her so that she can obligate the funds. And then once they're obligated, then the feds can't take them away.
And the STP funds can only be used on certain routes. They
Right.
can't be used everywhere. They have to be a route designated by the state.
And then our, just touch on it briefly, then our goal was to actually probably let this project ahead of Shelby, because of the different right-of-way issues and things that we anticipate on Shelby Road, Phase 2, we would have this ahead of that. It would have a full signalized intersection at PP and Shelby shortly after, it won't be at the same time probably, but shortly after the College Road entrance is opened up, so that'll help the college too, so that people coming off PP Highway can use a signalized intersection to get up Shelby to get to the new college entrance road. So, if there's any questions specific for either the cost share or this.
Mr. Mayor, I think this is a win-win situation for the city. We're able to access money for a project that has to be done. I make a motion we move item G to the voting session, I guess,
December 2nd.
December 2nd.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, the City Council review of proposed ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an STP urban program agreement between the City of Poplar Bluff and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission relative to signal improvements to the intersection of Route PP and Shelby Road.
This is kind of the same thing we just talked about. This is just another agreement between MoDOT and the city on using the STP funds.
Motion to move item H to voting session December 2nd.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, the City Council review of proposed ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a cost share agreement between the City of Poplar Bluff and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission relative to transportation improvements to the intersection of Route PP and Shelby Road.
And this, again, is very similar to what we've been talking about. We just keep getting money out of the federal government and state on these projects. So, but this is the cost share agreement with MoDOT that they've graciously entered into with us, are willing to.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we move item I to the workshop, from the workshop to the voting session to be held on December the 2nd.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J, the City Council review a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve a request to vacate an undeveloped platted portion of Cynthia Street. The applicant is the James K. Lee, 1988 County Road 421 of Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As you stated, James Lee is the property owner. This is Cynthia Street between 11th and 12th, North 11th and North 12th. Most of you will remember that recently we vacated the north half of this portion of Cynthia Street. And we are intending to keep a utility easement for the entire 50-foot width of the street. The property owners have been maintaining this property over the years, as there's not a street there and no intent to put a street in this section of platted Cynthia Street. Existing use is central area residential. To the north, south, and east is all RS3 central area residential, and to the west is RD1 residential duplex, better known as the football field. Although this portion is not an active thoroughfare, it does contain multiple utility services, and an easement must be retained. The staff recommendations are that to recommend, and the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation is approval of this request to vacate this portion of Cynthia Street with the following stipulation: that the city would retain the entire vacated street as a utility easement in this portion of Cynthia. Questions? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we move item J from the workshop to the voting session on December the 2nd.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item K, the City Council review a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the final subdivision plat to re-subdivide an existing industrial subdivision. The property lies north of Oak Grove Road, west of Shelby Road, east of Highway 67, and south of Highway 6067. The applicant is 8 Points Development, LLC, St. Louis, Missouri.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as stated, 8 Points Development LLC is the property owner. We have taken this plat, resub this plat through planning and zoning over the past several weeks. No issues, no concerns. We are moving forward on this because we have a new store coming out there. I believe most of you have probably read that in the paper in the past week. And the purpose is for future commercial development. The existing zoning is M1 light industrial, and it is an active commercial development at this time. This would be the second, if this property moves forward and changes hands, it would be the second store to open up out there. So I'm quite excited to see that out there. Couldn't help myself there. It's located north of Oak Grove Road, west of Shelby, and would have access from Shelby Road and from Oak Grove Road. To the north and south is C2 General Commercial. To the east is also C2 General Commercial. And to the west is M1 Light Industrial. Public utilities are available to the site. Access again would be from Oak Grove Road and Shelby Road. Police and fire protection are available, with fire station number 2 being the first responder. The final subdivision plat is proposed for construction of commercially developed lots for the future site of retail, commercial, and industrial businesses. Stormwater is already provided for this whole development out there. And once development plans for each site come in, we will determine where fire hydrants should be, and that would meet the approval of the fire department and the utility department, and hope to move forward with that. Any questions? I do have a copy of the plat. The city clerk has a large copy, and that anyone that wanted to see that, I know you have one, but that's kind of small if you're trying to read details on that sheet, the 8.5 by 11 sheet. So, any questions?
No questions. I entertain a motion second to move this to the voting session to be held tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to action required items. Bill number 7636, the City Council will take action on an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a supplemental agreement between the City of Poplar Bluff and Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for the walking and bicycle trail Phase 1 STP-5100004.
Move for first reading is 7636.
Second.
Motion and second for first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7636, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri to execute a Transportation Enhancement Funds Supplemental Agreement Number 2 between the city of Poplar Bluff and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission relative to the bicycle walking trail project.
Move for second reading of bill number 7636.
Second.
Motion second for second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7636, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri to execute a Transportation Enhancement Fund Supplemental Agreement Number 2 between the city of Poplar Bluff and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission relative to the bicycle walking trail project.
Move for adoption of Bill 7636.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Robert Smith?
Here, yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McVeigh?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Bill number 7636 is adopted. Bill number 7637, the City Council will take action on an ordinance accepting a bid for a water line extension along Vandover Road and Shelby Road.
Move for first reading, Bill number 7637.
Second.
Motion second for first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7637, an ordinance accepting a bid for a water line extension along Vandover Road and Shelby Road.
Move for second reading, Bill number 7637.
Second?
Motion second for second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7637, an ordinance accepting a bid for a water line extension along Vandover Road and Shelby Road.
Move for adoption of bill number 7637.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McVeigh?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Bill 7637 is passed. Bill number 7638, the City Council will take action on an ordinance approving conditional use permits for 2301 Maud Street. 1, to rezone property from RS3 Central Area Residential to C1 Neighborhood Commercial, and secondly, to approve a permit for a caretaker's residence.
Move for first reading of bill number 7638.
Second?
Motion second, first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7638, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit in order to rezone certain property located at 2301 Maud Street in the city of Poplar Bluff from RS3 Central Area Residential to C1 Neighborhood Commercial for use as a caretaker's residence.
Move for second reading, Bill number 7638.
Second?
Motion second for second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7638, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit in order to rezone certain property located at 2301 Maud Street in the city of Poplar Bluff from RS3 Central Area Residential to C1 Neighborhood Commercial for use as a caretaker residence.
Move for adoption of bill number 7638.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McVeigh?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Bill 7638 is passed. Bill number 7639, the City Council will take action on an ordinance approving the final subdivision plat for the 8-point subdivision Phase 1.
Move for first reading, Bill number 7639.
Second.
Motion second for first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7639, an ordinance approving a final subdivision plat submitted by 8 Points Development LLC to re-subdivide an existing subdivision as 8 Point Subdivision Phase 1, said property lying north of Oak Grove Road, west of Shelby Road, east of Highway 67, and south of Highway 6067.
Move for second reading of 7639.
Second.
Motion second for second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7639, an ordinance approving a final subdivision plat submitted by 8 Points Development LLC to re-subdivide an existing subdivision as 8 Point Subdivision Phase 1, said property lying north of Oak Grove Road, west of Shelby Road, east of Highway 67, and south of Highway 6067.
Move for adoption, Bill number 7639.
Second?
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McVeigh?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Bill 7639 is passed. Bill number 7640, the City Council will take action on an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, to execute a letter of engagement with Kraft Miles and Tatum LLC, certified public accountants, to conduct the annual audit for the city of Poplar Bluff and municipal utilities and city cable for the fiscal year 2013.
Move for first reading of bill number 7640.
Second?
Motion second for first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan.
Bill number 7640, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, to execute a letter of engagement with Kraft Miles and Tatum LLC, certified public accountants, to conduct the annual audit for the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri for the fiscal year ended 2013.
Move for second reading of bill number 7640.
Second.
Motion second for second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan?
Bill number 7640, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri to execute a letter of engagement with Kraft Miles and Tatum LLC, certified public accountants, to conduct the annual audit for the city of Poplar Bluff, Missouri for the fiscal year ended 2013.
Move for adoption of 7640.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments?
I have a comment. I think this is a good thing. I just think in the future, probably we should go ahead and try to put out bids for services. I think it would be good practice for us, and we could probably save money. Maybe not in this case with the auditing firm because, as you said, it was higher when you checked around. But I think in the future, maybe this would be something we should consider.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, Ms. Kirby?
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McBain?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Bill 7640 is passed. Resolution number 1783, the city council will take action on a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a FEMA assistance for firefighters grant to seek funding for protection equipment.
Move for reading of resolution 1783.
Second.
Motion second for the reading of the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan?
Resolution number 1783, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff to submit an application for a federal emergency management agency assistance to firefighters grant for fiscal year 2013 relative to the replacement of air packs for the Poplar Bluff Fire Department.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby?
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McBain?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 1783 is passed. Resolution number 1784, the city council will take action on a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a FEMA assistance for firefighters grant to seek funding for a Rosenbauer FX101 pumper.
Move for the reading of resolution number 1784.
Second.
Motion second for the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan?
Resolution number 1784, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff to submit an application for a federal emergency management agency assistance to firefighters grant for fiscal year 2013 relative to the replacement of an existing pumper vehicle for the Poplar Bluff Fire Department.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby?
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McBain?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution number 1784 is passed. Resolution number 1785, the city council will take action on a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a FEMA assistance for firefighters grant to seek funding for a Viper aerial vehicle with 78-foot ladder.
Move for reading of resolution 1785.
Second.
Motion second for the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan?
Resolution number 1785, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff to submit an application for a federal emergency management agency assistance to firefighters grant for fiscal year 2013 relative to the replacement of an existing aerial vehicle for the Poplar Bluff Fire Department.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Ms. Kirby?
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McBain?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution number 1785 is passed. Resolution number 1786, the city council will take action on a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a FEMA assistance for firefighters grant to seek funding for generators and assorted vehicle hand tools.
Move for reading of resolution 1786.
Second.
Motion and second for the reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Duncan?
Resolution number 1786, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Poplar Bluff to submit an application for a federal emergency management agency assistance to firefighters grant for fiscal year 2013 relative to the replacement of deteriorating operational and rescue equipment for the Poplar Bluff Fire Department.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion second for adoption. Any comments? Roll call, Mr. Kirby.
Councilwoman Abshir?
Yes.
Councilman Branham?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McVeigh?
Yes.
And Mayor DeGaris?
Yes.
We have 6 yes votes.
Thank you. Resolution 1786 is passed. Item double J, the City Council of the City of Poplar Bluff will meet in a closed meeting in which they will discuss such matters which are exempt under the open meetings law, Section 610.021.1, .2, .3, .9, .11, .12, .13, and .14 of the revised statutes of Missouri.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we move into closed session after the city manager's report.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Bagby?
Yes, we've been a lot of discussion about competitive bidding that goes on tonight. I just want to make the council aware. I think most of the council is aware. Section 140.030 talks about competitive bidding and how it is required for construction material, rolling stock, equipment in excess of $5,000 a bid has to be advertised in the newspaper. You can't break it up into amounts less than $5,000 in order to do those bids. So we have very strict guidelines on that. That is in Section B. In Section C of the same, from paragraph C of the same section, it points out that these provisions shall not prevent the city manager, with approval of the city council, from employing labor for public improvements, making necessary extension of public service, employing specialized professional services, and negotiating policy premiums for various insurance coverages. Anything that you all, as a body, want me to either bid or request qualifications on, I'll be more than happy to do it. What I do is go out and negotiate these things. Generally, professional services, you want to look at qualifications and then negotiate a price. That's what I generally do on professional services. If you would like to see those, if this group as a body would like to see those in some other form, just let me know. It doesn't prevent me from requesting qualifications or bidding projects. It just allows me to go ahead and negotiate those things, bring them to council for their approval.
Mr. Bagby, doesn't it cost us more if you do that because you have to advertise in the newspaper?
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to advertise in the newspaper, do you? As long as you have a posting up at the building? And there are other ways you can do that.
Well, yeah, we can do it anyway. We can do it the way we're doing it, which has worked fairly well. In this particular section, it says it will be advertised in the newspaper.
I see.
Yeah.
So
But
is it-
now, that is for rolling stock goods, those kind of things. Professional services, insurance premiums, those things are very difficult to bid because you don't get an apples and apples comparison on it. And generally on professional services, engineering service, for example, the Mini Brooks Law, which is adopted in Missouri after the Brooks Law was adopted from a federal standpoint, will not allow you to ask for prices when you're requesting engineering service or architectural service. Not allow you. You have to base on qualifications and then negotiate a price. If you can't negotiate a satisfactory price, then you go to the next most qualified firm. So it's not, I mean, this provision allows some leeway, which almost has to be there if you're going to operate the city anywhere close to a business. Cities can never operate like a business, and we all understand that. But if you're going to, the closer you can get, the better off you are usually. So, but again, my point being, anything that you all would like to see as a group bid that is not being bid, you all see every contract that we enter into. Just let me know as a group, and I'll be more than happy to request qualifications or actually formally bid.
Mr. Bagby, I'd like to say I have full confidence in you and your ability to negotiate these items and bring it to us. That's what we pay you to do. And we really don't have time, nor should we cost the city more money to run ads to do bids when you're already doing what we pay you to do. So I would like to continue as it's been done.
Well, like I say, anytime the council feels like that they would like to see more, have more input or anything, I'd be more than happy to make that available.
I would like to see bidding done. I think it would end up saving us more in the long run. I think you could potentially see savings that would outweigh whatever it would cost to put in the newspaper to advertise, but you know, everyone has a different opinion. I just so happen to think that bidding would probably draw in more companies possibly that could offer lower prices. I don't know, but I think it's worth trying that. I'm not saying that what you're doing now is bad or wrong or anything like that. I just think that bidding would probably allow us to save, and that's what I'm interested in seeing.
I feel like Mr. Bagby is very frugal with the city money, and as he made arrangements to check on the prices on this just now, I mean, it was considerably more should he have gone outside. And we also try to spend as much money local as we can, so again, I think it should be his discretion.
That's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion. We adjourn to closed session.
Second.
Motion second, adjourned, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned and reconvened in about 5 minutes.